year and a half or so ago, I filmed a little video tip called Fun with Extract. And besides the fact that it's only available as a small little movie, came up with some new ideas since then that I think might be interesting for revisiting this concept of weird and unusual things you can do with the extract command. And like many of my tutorials or tips, this is going to be one where I'll show you the basic idea, then it'll be up to you to run with it and experiment. And I'll show you some examples of the kind of things I was able to do very quickly with some experiments. So the first thing I decided to do is take a look at any particular channel, and I'm just going to use the blue channel in this example. You can basically use any one and duplicate it. And one of the things I found in my experimentation with extract is it works particularly well if you do an inverse of that. I'm going to copy that again and then take this one and add a slight blur to it. Just do a Gaussian blur, I guess. Just something, yeah, that looks pretty good. Just to blur it up a little bit, and you'll see in our experiments in a moment these come into play. So now we're going to take our background layer and duplicate it, Command or Control J, because we want the extract to be done on this duplicated layer, not on our original. So now we go to Extract. Obviously I scaled down this window a little bit, but you'll get the basic idea. And the first thing we're going to try is go right here under Extraction to Channel and pick one of those channels that we just created. Now I actually changed this because normally it's green, but I found when I was experimenting it just was a little easier to see what was going on. But basically it's going to automatically highlight things based on this blue channel. So then all you have to do is go in and find a part that's not currently highlighted like this to fill the rest in. Then we hit the preview to see what happens. And as you can see, we get a pretty funky, weird kind of result. So, well, let's just click OK to that one. And, interesting. Even just doing that added a little bit of a cool, interesting effect. If I hide the background, you can see what I have. So you can imagine we could then try things like changing the blend mode in here to something else. Maybe not that one, but, you know, you get the idea. Okay, but let's continue with our experiments, shall we? So we're going to hide this, take our background once again and duplicate it, and go back to Extract. This time we're going to use the other channel we created, see if it should be slightly different. Now of course there's nothing to say that you couldn't continue to go back in here. Let's use a smaller brush size, for example, and say that we did want part of his hair in here. Now when you do experiment, you'll have to kind of hit some of the blue fill again and then hit the preview. Okay, slight variation, a little bit unusual this time. So once again, click OK. Again, interesting. I mean, look what it's done. And again, I got to tell you, I have no idea what these are going to do each time I do it. But let me bring in an example of something that I was playing with earlier. And basically all I did here, let me hide this for a second. I'll show you progressively the different pair. Here was one of the results of Extract, this one right here, which is actually kind of a cool silhouette without the skin. Here was another one, and here was a third, and all I did was I just took away the original background, and then just in as a way of experimenting, so well, what would happen if I just took a color? Now in this case, actually I'm going to change this color, I think, to match more with her flesh tone, like that, something of that nature. So that's just one possibility, as you can see here, just by playing with different layers, different blend modes. Let's put this color back to this kind of brighter color. Again, many possibilities, and the bottom line is don't be restricted by thinking extract is only to do a really accurate extraction. The sky is the limit. Well, I've said it before and I'll certainly say it again, I love techniques where you experiment and when you just never know what's going to happen. That is just so cool because the results, well, they're always a surprise. I gotta love it. I'm Dave Cross. I will see you next time.